Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Uh, it has, let's see, audio is working. Okay, so I think we're ready to begin. Done a little bit of rearranging with the room, and I'm also playing around with setting up a personal Kanban board. So it's very interesting trying to like track a backlog of all the personal things that I want to do and have that out there. And I've got a whole bunch of stickies all around the room of things that will maybe ever get done, which in some ways is a little bit depressing, and in the other ways it's sort of like nice to get out and also see that they're probably never going to get done and like actually acknowledge that. But let's see where we want to go with this. We are going to code builds nature of code with Rust, the ecosystem project, and we'll open up code here. Also, because I do not want to forget, I'll start up our Twitch highlighter. So if you do watch these live, or if you're watching right now, you can in chat do bang line and then a line number, and that will highlight a line on the current file that I'm open on. Currently, there's no way for you to highlight like other lines, and also ironically, there's no way for me to remove lines. So you'll have to remove them too with a bang line, then the bang line number. Where are we going with this? Right, so we have implement a food structure that takes care of adding food every n ticks. So right now, let's take a look at where we are with this. So if I go cargo run, yeah, so currently we have a whole bunch. We have looks like 5 walkers. They walk around, they do lose energy, and so they fade away and die. They can eat the food, and so the food is sized right now according to how much energy it will give the walkers. And then I guess like there's no way for food to be added in again. So they'll just sort of wander around until they die. So that, I mean, that's cool, I suppose. Let's go ahead and make that more over like this. Okay, so let's see. And then the food structs so we can add food every n ticks. Use delta time, wrap the screen. Poison food. So right now the red food is not like poison. It's just red. Miguel, good morning. We want to turn this blue, so poison food, and make blue for red, blue, color blindness. And then finally different shapes for food types. So that's I think then the plan is we'll be ready to move on to chapter 2. Katali, good morning. Welcome to the stream, both of you. So let's get started with this. We want to implement a food structure. So this will be something like the foods. Everything is black. Oh, just like make all the food black? Yeah. Then you don't like this suddenly they grow and pop up and nobody knows what's going on. That would be interesting. I'm not going to do that though. So food structure. So if we take a look into here, I do have this walker. I don't know if I need that. Oh, I see what I did here. I have like the individual food. Oh, you can't see anything. Is it the same? Oh, so Miguel, everything is fine for you. Katali, you can't see. Um, if Well, I really hesitate restarting the stream if Miguel, you can see it. Katali, if you restart your browser, does that make it come back? Oh, it's solved. Yay. Okay, cool. What was the problem? Okay, so I'm gonna want to create a new folder called foods. And in there, a mod.rs. And then we're gonna want to move the food in here too. You just reopen the Twitch app. Okay, so apparently the Twitch app was having a little bit of trouble. It does tend to do that for me sometimes too. Although not blank like black streams. Although I'm trying to remember, there's been a couple times where it's frozen for me, and then what I could do is go up and tell it to like change the resolution to like from auto to something specific, and then back to audio again, and that sometimes refixes it. All right, so this is going to be just a wrapper around all the foods. So it's going to have like methods to like create and update the foods and sort of work with it. Let's go ahead and I guess we know we want a public struct food or foods. We don't know what we want in it, right? Well, I mean, we're pretty sure we know what we want in it. Do I need Crossbow? Good morning. Let's see. Public struct foods, and then we want to. How did I do this in the other mod? Oh, it's just mod random walker. Okay, so that's all I have to do. So then here I can mod food. And then I can use and so here this is going to be a like foods. It's going to be a vec of type food. We want to implement foods. Oh, and you're going to return foods. So we'll have to figure this part out later, but for right now, we'll just have it empty. I think that's all I need for right now to have it work. And then what I want to do, I want to come back to the main library file. So it's instead of mod foods, this is now going to be mod foods. So use foods. Everything is upset at me now. That's wonderful. Okay, so foods is not going to be a vector anymore. Now it's just going to be an instance of foods. I mean, when you all create wrappers like I'm doing with foods, do you actually name it like wrapper, like foods wrapper, or do you name it just foods, like plural? I'm like curious. I've seen some people at work are doing wrapper around things. Just plural form. Okay, so we create a new food. Oh, then in here, so we're not going to create a vector. In fact, we don't need this at all. Foods is now going to be foods new. Right now we don't have to pass anything in, mostly just plural. Awesome. So you go away. We don't need to create you right now. We have an arena size. We have our foods. We have our walkers. So we're creating that. In our draw, okay, so we have draw here for food in mute self foods. So I'm thinking we're going to do the same thing that we have here. We're going to have a draw function. We're probably going to want an update function for this, right? So we're going to say self dot foods dot update. We don't know necessarily what we need to do, so we'll just call it like that, and we'll pass in things when we need to. You've also seen some people use foods for the wrapper and the food for the instance. Oh, interesting. Okay, because it gets a little bit weird to say like foods.food. So foods.the food. Yeah, I'd be interested to see like how do people solve that like English problem there? Because it just sounds so weird to do it like that. So here, it's going to be slightly different. So for food in, it's going to be, oh, so yeah, we don't need this. Actually, it's going to be more like this, isn't it? So we can copy and paste you. So for food in self.foods.draw, we'll pass it in a context that food oh, so we unwrap it here. You're not a big fan of that? Yeah, because you have to type 3 more characters. Let's see. So we unwrap it, we get the food, then we can get the reference to the the food, and draw it out here. So I think this will handle that. Of course, we've got some errors here. 6 of them to be precise. Well, of course, a lot of that is in foods itself, but there's some in walkers because like we're not passing in food properly anymore. That's going to be interesting. We need to, so the walkers need in their update to have access to the foods. So here, this will have, okay, so we'll hand immutable self to foods. So we'll hand a wrapper to this, and maybe it will like call some functions, or they'll just be a getter on all of this stuff. I could also, of course, do self.foods.foods. That's private, so I can fix that. All right, what next? Expected one of async const create default existential. Oh, yeah, you need to be inside the function. It's kind of how it works. So foods is going to be like that with foods. Okay, no method name update. Okay, so that's to be expected. Let's fix that. So public function update. We don't, well, we know that we need a mutable reference to self. That's all we really need. We're not going to return anything. So in the update tick, for right now, let's just get all the foods to display exactly like they were right here. So I don't really think there is anything for us to do at this point. So we'll just leave it sort of empty. They'll probably complain that we're not doing anything with it. No method name draw. I think we did find out that we do need it to be mutable reference to self. I think we're also taking in context, but it'll let us know. You should check for overlapping too. Yeah, to make sure they don't overlap. Well, when we create them, we can sort of like figure that out. We are going to return. Oh, so we need to bring in use. Okay, so we need a ggez game result. I don't know if I need anything else there. Use ggez. It's graphics. We need a mesh and a mesh builder. So we're going to return a game result with a mesh. All right. We need to tell each of the foods that we have to build. You know what? We don't need the mesh builder in here. The foods themselves sort of handle that. And this is actually going to be a vector. So it's going to be a vec of game results of meshes. That's sort of like the weird thing we have going on with the walkers too. Okay, so it's just that we haven't actually returned that. So let's go ahead and what is it? We want to s. Yeah, so this is just going to loop through our foods, call the draw function, store that into a vector. So essentially this is going to be sort of like let like food meshes. This can be an empty vec. And then we're going to push that in. So for food in, well, self.foods, we want to call food meshes dot push food dot draw, and you need the context. So we'll just pass in a context here, which means we need a context here. Does it need to be mutable too? I can't remember. All right, so what? Oh, and then we return food meshes. Right, so needs to be mutable. So Okay, no errors here. We're down to 2 errors now. Unresolved import crate food. This is in the walkers. No food in the root. Oh, so wait, how does this work then? Is it foods now? Cannot find type food in this scope. Oh, okay, so oh right, I still want the individual food. I still do want that. But this is under foods. So can I just do this? Struct food is private. No, it's not. Public struct food. I see it. I'm looking at it like increasingly skeptical. But I don't know, like it might be. Okay, and then unresolved import create food. Well, I did resolve that because it's now create. Oh, okay, you need to be resolved here too. This is for the random walkers. This is gonna be the foods food. Spartan GTR, good morning. What's the derive stuff? How familiar are you with Rust? So derive is basically adding a trait into random walker here. So it's saying, okay, I want to be able to clone the random walker. The trait has a very basic methods associated with it, and this random walker is simple enough that me just telling it use the trait defined elsewhere, or with Rust itself. Just attempt to do it to the best of your ability. Same with debug. I want you to display this to the console when I turn debug mode on. Oh, I don't have a chat bot that has those commands right now. So this is the project that I'm on. This is chapter 1 of the Nature of Code book series by Daniel Schiffman. Those all examples and projects and everything else, they're all done in processing. I am doing the fun ones in Rust, or at least I'm doing the fun ones here, like on stream with you all in Rust. Maybe when you finish the book, you should code it again. Like code it again to make it like with all the lessons that I've learned, so it's better. Maybe. Then again, I'll probably get bored like really quickly, then lose interest in that. That's confusing. Is it more like class inheritance or something more like an interface? Not so. Everyone else who's more knowledgeable than me, correct me if I'm wrong here. It's neither. So Rust is not an object-oriented language. There are no classes, but there's a lot of things borrowed from object-oriented, but there's a huge number of things borrowed from functional programming too. So it's more of, I would say it's more like an interface, except in this case, the interface is also a method that can be used, but it's one that's predefined for us. So what I can do is I can actually create a function clone instead of this derive, and it would use that one instead in my implementation. You meant the bot, but that's a good idea too. No, I think the bot, definitely. I think we can do that. Of course, I like, my wife did suggest that she might want to do that for me and just like build me a chatbot. I like, she might not get to it too though. Basically, it's gonna be a race. When I'm finished this, then I can do that. If she hasn't already. All right, well, this error is still here, and it's just these two that are exactly the same. I don't necessarily trust them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the code here. Let's quit out of view. And let's see if we can get the real error messages. Cargo run. Okay, so struct food is private. Do I have to put a hub on the mod line? So it's kind of lying to me. This is public right there. But this is not. Maybe I have to do this. Still showing private. I did save. What do I need to? Let's see, food. So we have public struct food. In mod foods, we have public foods and public struct food. So like these are all public, but I think it's the type that's now it's private essentially. So how do I get the feeling that that's not how I access like this button here. I get the feeling this is not how it's supposed to work. I mean, what happens if I just do create? Yeah, so food doesn't exist anymore. Can I do foods? Food? Go public, private exports, imports are way better and simpler. Unresolved import, create foods. Okay, so that, yeah. I haven't used Go, so that being said, it's hard to imagine something less, well, I want to say less intuitive than this right now. Pascal case public, camel case private. Wait, is that a Go thing, Katali, or is that what I need to do here? Maybe it's not create. Maybe it's just use foods food. Oh, that's Go syntax. Oh, that's how they do it. Okay, never mind. They don't have like a public keyword. They just, oh wow. Okay, never mind. That's maybe less intuitive. Unresolved import. Oh wait, so then do I have to do before this use create food or foods? Unresolved import foods. Foods is a struct, not a module. Okay. Am I? Wait. Foods? Food? A similar path exists. Creates foods. Okay, so you want me to use creates foods like this. But of course, that's not helpful. Food. But then it says it's private. Why you do this to me? Okay, so how from walkers do I get this type? All right, let's go take a look. Wrestling. What's my search term here? It's foods.rs, so it isn't use create food. So isn't it use create food? Well, that's what I was thinking. So use create food like this. No food in the root. So it's trying to go to the root here. So it's trying to go to the root of source to look for a food structure in there. Help, a similar name exists in the module foods. So can I just do foods like that? Okay. An unresolved import. Foods is a struct, not a module. What do we in the main library? We do mod foods here. I mean, so okay. Foods, but this is like this is circular. I'm just going around in circles now. All right, let's take a look. We want wrestling nested modules. 2017, that's too long ago. Maybe that. Perhaps you need to use mod food too. We could try that. So we can use mod foods. I guess it wouldn't be use. It would be mod foods. Oh, but this is going to be looking inside of this directory. Yeah, the name either foods.rs or foods.mod.rs inside the directory source walkers does not exist. I can't do anything like tasty bacon. I think you can either do use create foods food or make the use food in foods.rs hub use. Oh my gosh, there are too many uses there. Let's try the first one here. So we're gonna use create. So we're gonna walk up the chain here. So foods. Foods. Food. So that goes into the file, and then food. No error. Okay. And same thing here. Use create. What is this? So it's foods, food. All right. 3 new errors just come up. Deliveroo.co.uk. What is that? I've never heard of that. Um, I don't know. It looks dangerous. Crate refers to the root of your project. I guess it does. Well, okay, it's a website. I figured that. What is a website about? Let's see. Food. Oh, oh, is it a delivery website? Okay, got it. All right, I was totally not in that mindset to get the joke. So, whew, right over my head. Um, all right, what next here? Cannot move out of self.foods, which is behind a mutable reference. Okay, so we're back to normal rest errors again. So here in draw for mod.rs, so this is our foods. We need, so we're trying to move here. I wonder if we can borrow. Can we borrow here like that? Cannot borrow food meshes. It's mutable. Okay, we don't need to. We'll make it mutable. And no errors anymore. Okay, perfect. So thank you, thank you, Tasty Bacon, for that help. I think that was super helpful. Um, yeah, yeah. Crates do seem to go to the root of the project, which I hadn't really thought of before. I thought it meant like it went through any of the public structures that were modded, and then just you can pluck them out. But I guess this kind of makes sense. But now it does make the file need to be in specific locations in the folder. Yeah, the module system is a bit confusing. I do agree. It is slightly better than it was before 2018, but not like, I'm just gonna say slightly for it right now. Okay, so method is never used. Draw under food. Wait, I'm not drawing it. I thought I was trying to. Oh wait, it's never, it knows, I think, that I have an empty array. And more of this irrefutable flat. We'll need to add more walkers to make that work. All right. Let's actually run this and save that. Ooh, look how much faster they are when I'm not also having all the food taking up the collision detection. So that's not exactly cool. We could probably make the collision detection a little bit better by not actually doing really collision, but rather just seeing where we are if we pass over any of the spots. But let's not worry about that right now. Okay, so we need to draw the food. So let's start from the very basic. In library, we create these foods, so we need to generate all the foods in here. So we need to call foods. So let's do, maybe at the beginning we'll do something like 5 foods. So let and we're gonna foods dot push. This is gonna be food new. Okay, so we need the width and the height. So I kind of want to change this a little bit. So in food.rs, this is a width and a height, but let's make this just actually width, height, which is a tuple of F32 and F32. I think I can destructure in a signature like that. So in here, I can take in the arena size. And just pass that on through. We also need RNG. Which is, I think we want this to be a mutable reference to thread RNG, which that means we need to pull that in here. I have rand. Why are you upset? Expected colon, semicolon, or equals. I finished this, didn't I? Yeah, this is closed here. This is closed here. Is that actually a problem? Did I? Let's see, arena size. Okay, so that's a tuple. RNG is that. We're grabbing in rand. So then we just pass in RNG here. And that will push in. Oh, it's because I haven't finished this line, wasn't it? There's a space here. And it's dot dot, so that is appropriate. Oh, 4, yes. I don't know why I did let. That is silly. Thank you, Miguel. I was looking at the other part of the for statement too. Okay, and you are upset. Mismatch types. Oh, okay. So now I need foods to be mutable reference too. So here. Mutable reference. And now we're not passing in the appropriate things anymore. We need the arena size and that. Okay, so arena size, we have you. And a mutable reference to RNG. Do I have to also tell it's mutable? You were a bit cryptic, but I eventually got it. Cannot borrow foods as mutable. It is not declared as mutable. Wait, cannot borrow foods as mutable. Oh, yes. I keep on forgetting to make the vectors mutable. Okay. Cannot borrow RNG. So yes, you need to be mutable. Okay, no errors. Let's see what we got. Hey, I think that one got bigger. So they did hit them properly. So now we have only 5 foods. I'm thinking that every 100 ticks or so, which is going to be like every couple seconds, we will add a new food in. So that will be part of update. So in mod_s here, in update, so we need the ticks. So we know that the ticks is a usize. So every n ticks or so, and we can store this in this structure, just so we can make it so that new is the only place that we're like changing this. So we can say add food every, oh, what's the name of it? So it's like add food every n ticks. I think that's wrong. Add food after, maybe? This is gonna be usize. I don't know, if you come up with a better name for this, I will be happy to put that in. So add food after. This is going to be, let's just say 100 for right now. And then an update. So we have our ticks. It's a usize. So now we can say if ticks mod self dot add food after, if that equals 0, so that means we've reached that. Now also, we want max food. So I don't want to just like add it forever. I want to have like a maximum food. So max food count. What is a length of vector? I'm kind of curious. So what is it? Doc dot wrestling. Oh, I was right. Okay. Back. Well, okay, I know that. What's the type? Is that a usize? It is a usize. Okay, so this is also going to be usize. So max food count is a usize. Oh, not a usize. Let's just say that we're not going to be allowed to have more than 20 food items. So we're going to start with 5. Every 100, we'll add 1 until there's 20. And then after that, it's going to be reliant upon. So this is going to be, if ticks this, and goes after this, and self dot foods dot length is less than is going to be, or just less than self dot max food count. So if that happens, then we're just going to push a new food. So self dot foods dot push, which we're already deleting them from the vector, so I think this is gonna be fine. So food new. Okay, so we need the arena size again. And RNG, so mute to RNG. And that will be here. So new, we're gonna pass in arena size and RNG. We have an error, but I don't think that's in here. Oh, right. So I just added a whole bunch of these. What do we need? We need ticks, arena size, and RNG. So we don't have ticks right now, but we can get that. So that ticks equals, oh, we need timer. So it's ggez, oh, we have it right here. So timer ticks, pass it in context. That gives us the number of ticks. I'll just pass that in here. What's next? The arena size and self.rng. And this needs to be a mute. Okay, no more errors. Let's go ahead and see if this still works. Look at that. Food's sort of appearing here. Oh, it looks like they stopped. Now I need you to eat one, please. Really? You couldn't just eat the food. You're just gonna starve to death. Cool. Yep, then they all died. Dalek, good morning. I am building so this is the ecosystem project. Oh, okay, so it did eat the food. It removed it from the array. It stopped displaying it, which means another one will be able to display. Perfect. If like they keep on, oh, you're so close to food, just eat it all. So if you haven't heard of Nature of Code, it's a book by Daniel Schiffman. Do I get more food then? I should have gotten more food to pop up, but it's really hard to tell. Oh yeah, there it goes. I just saw new food pop up there after this guy ate it. Perfect. So it's a book about like replicating what we see in nature in using code, but all the examples are done in processing. So as part of my like learning and showing off Rust, I am doing the fun ones in Rust. Okay, so we now have the food showing up in the sort of cadence that we want. So let's go into our README. Implement a food structure that takes care of adding food every n ticks. We can sort of play with that. I'm thinking I might want to do something like 500. A little bit slower. What am I using to display the dots? Well, so I'm using a game engine called ggez in Rust. And so the dots are actually just circles. So I create a circle mesh and then I display it. All right, so we now have a food structure that takes care of adding food every n ticks. Let's go ahead and send all of this. Reset you, send you all on up. So remember to change the poisonous foods to blue. I do have that in the README. I just added it this morning. So we will be adding that eventually. Let's see. Food structure, now adding food every 500 ticks. All right. So what is next? Yeah, see, I make blue. Use delta time. Okay. So delta time is something we can do in game engines to make the movement a little bit smoother, depending upon how many frames per second we're getting. So I don't have a count right now of how many frames per second ggez is giving me. Sometimes it goes lower, sometimes it goes higher. So what I can do is I could look in a previous project, but the idea is I need to, every update, the very first thing we're going to do is get the difference. So it's going to be delta time equals, I think it's on context. No, it's on timer. So timer delta, get the time between the start of the last frame and the current one. Okay, so that's exactly what I want. So delta, we pass it the context. Now is it dot? Oh, as nanos, I believe. So okay, so as nanoseconds. Oh, right, because it's a duration. Then we want to multiply this. I mean, do I really need to multiply this? Or do I think I multiply it by like, I forgot. I sort of lost it after that. Let us go check one of the other projects. Where was it? Did I do this in chapter 1? Or was this in one of the other ones? I don't remember anymore. I'll just go to my GitHub and like check it there. So GitHub, it's in my Brooks builds. Let's see, maybe chapter 1. Okay, so update, I'm not using it there. Is there a fast way to search the actual code? Can I do that? Can I like search for delta time? Okay, so it's not in any of that. So maybe it's in one of these other ones. Let's just find a repository. What else do I have in Rust in here? Oh, nothing. Okay, so maybe it is in my personal one. CJ started streaming? Oh no! I'm against CJ of Coding Garden. If you've never seen CJ, he's on YouTube. Oh, I just wanted to go to YouTube. Oh, I'm not signed in, but it's Coding Garden. Oh, he's doing morning tea. That'd be fun to like watch him do morning tea while I program, but I'm not gonna do that. Anyways, he does mostly JavaScript, so if you're interested in JavaScript and Vue.js, I highly recommend watching him. He is an awesome programmer. What did I want to do? I wanted to come to Rusty Pong. So this is a little Pong game that I was making to sort of track all the technology that you need. Did I use it in here? Yeah, take a look at this. Okay, so delta time is duration as nanos, so I convert to nanos as F32 divided by 1e to the 9. So 1e to the 9 will convert this to milliseconds, I believe. And then I can use that to, or it converts it to seconds. Then I can multiply that by everything else. So it's convert as nanos to F32 and then divide it by 1e9. Okay, so in here, this is as F32 divided by 1e9. So that gives us our delta time. That should be a it's an U32. And now in my, so food doesn't need delta time. It's only things that move. So walkers need delta time. So I'm going to pass that into update here. Walkers, you need this. Delta time. That's all we really care about right now. So let's go into okay, so we have you. Then the way we're going to use this is as it, okay, so it's going to walk here. We now need to pass in this delta time to the walk. So delta time is now random walker. So here's its walk. Its acceleration is going to be x plus this. So we want to actually change our acceleration and make it much smaller. So this is where we're going to take in delta time. And just multiply this by delta time. Velocity and location should be perfect from that. So I think that's all we need to do. Now, they're going to move very, very slowly now because we're taking something between 0 and 1 and then multiplying that by a very small number. And that, of course, slows them down. You have an idea to food over time to be rotten and then, transform it into poisonous food if it's not eaten in time. Oh, that is like evil. I like it. So if I do that, I need to now make you. We need better speed. Now, so this is, see how this is like so small? If I have, so I want you to be -1, -1 dot 0, 0. So I don't know if this is going to be fast enough yet. I might still need to multiply this afterwards to scale it up. You need to just go. There you go. There we go. Now the movement is it's back the way it used to be, but now it's going to be scaled to how many frames per second we're going to get. We could even cap delta time at 60 frames per second to make sure we're not trying to do too many things at one time. Which I kind of like the idea of. I'm going to add that in to the README. I'm going to add in your idea, Crossbow, too. I think so. Poison food after it ages, and then it turns blue. Okay, so we've got that, and then the other one is cap delta time to probably like 60 frames per second. All right, so now we're using delta time. All right, perfect. So close all view. Now using delta time to animate. Wait, it's red-green color blindness, not red-blue. You're right. I don't know why I was thinking of the blue. So poison food and make blue for red, green color blindness. All right, perfect. Thank you. Wrap the screen so walkers are never stuck on the edges. All right, this is the thing that just gave me problems the last time I tried it. So I guess let's try it again now. I really think that we need that because they keep on going to the edges and get stuck there, and we want them to just keep on going. If they want to keep on moving in one direction forever, that's their prerogative. Right now, I think the random walkers have keep in arena. So we have the width and the height. Oh, so this is the arena size. So we probably want to just change this to be an arena like width. Arena width. Okay. So you are going to be completely thrown out. We don't want you anymore. Or do we? So if self-allocation at X, so along this plane, plus the size, so that's going to be the right-hand side, if that is greater than width, so I actually want to be on the other side. So I want the left-hand side, if the left-hand edge goes past the right-hand edge here. So it's actually going to be minus self.size, that's going to be the left edge. If that's greater than width, so it's off the screen to the right, then we want to move its location X to the left. So self.location X equals, so it's going to be 0 minus self.size. Can I just do minus self.size? Does that work? Or can I just do this? And actually, do I want to be, I want to be like the right-hand edge. So that's size, subtract that comes over here. Okay, so that's perfect. Now, else if self.location of that X, so our sphere, if that minus self.size, the left edge, so I want this to be plus, if that is less than 0.0, so if that's over here, then move that to self. So move that to width. Oh, and you need to be arena width. So the arena width plus self.size. Rena Dork, because you're new to coding, you have no idea what's happening, but you appreciate me explaining what I'm doing. Well, thank you very much. Stay with it. Coding is one of those things that I think is very rewarding as you just sort of stay with it. And there are definitely lessons and tutorials that like are going to be above you, and then ones are going to be below you. But I have faith you're going to get there, and then you'll be able to do amazing things and have like really a lot of fun with it. Okay, so that should be the X side. Now I could try that. Oh, we got an error. Oh, the errors is here. So self keep an arena because you are just going to be the arena size. So I need you to also now be. So this is using arena width and arena height. Here too. What am I doing here? Self the location X. Oh yeah, this is something that that Danny Fritz had us do in order to have it move properly, and I still haven't like written it out on a whiteboard to actually see how it works. Aren't I doing? Let's see. I'll do this in order. Rena, you went to school for admin. Now you have a bit of regret not going into tech. I wouldn't worry about it. School, like the official schools, you don't really need it. It can help, but if you have the learning mindset, the growth mindset, you can totally do it. Also, search out for mentors in your local area that you can physically meet up with and use them as much as possible. They will help out. And then Katali says, weren't I doing a beginner's coding course in Rust? Yes, I actually have an entire plan for that. And even somebody's like really liked the idea when I put that on Twitter. So that's like, that is something I'm going to do. Also, if you do want to learn Rust, then the official Rust book is good, as Crosbo suggests. If you don't know Rust at all and you don't necessarily want to learn that, that's okay. If you want to stay with the web languages, like people like CJ, who's streaming right now, are great people to follow. Okay, so I need the arena width and arena height here. But I'm thinking I'm going to do the same. Same thing then. I guess all you need to do here is just wrap this in a tuple. Okay. Now here we're gonna work on you now. So height, this is now gonna be the arena height. Everything else should be exactly the same, so we should see left, right wrapping. Now just move to the left and right of the screen. No, okay, it got stuck. So we see that it's getting like put right here constantly and then still moving. Wait, did you work? You went over to the right and then came back down here. Did I see that correctly? I think it's because it was in a corner, wasn't it? All right, I want to try that again. And meanwhile, I think maybe we have to do them both at the same time. So now we need to fix you. You're learning Unity C# at the moment. Yeah, no, Unity is a great. Okay, no, you're having problems here. So left, right is not working the way we want it to. So let's see if we can fix that. Maybe corner block it. So does that mean just like make it so it can't be in a corner? I think like this would potentially help with the corner size. We had the same problem when we were just doing the blocks, I remember. And adding in this separate if helped out. But all right, so if the x, so that let's take this one right here. So if right there, plus self that size, that's this edge. Oh, that's this edge. Wait. That's this edge. If that's greater, so I want minus. So it's gonna be very similar. Self the location at y equals, so we want to be at the top now. So it's just gonna be minus self that size. This becomes a plus. Equals arena height plus self that size. I don't know if this is actually going to work properly. By corner block crossbow, do you mean? Yeah, so I've got it. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. So going down below brings it up to the top correctly. Going down to the right brings it to the left. But I need to make it so when it goes to the left, it comes out on the right. So I've got some problem. The self here is the walker. Yeah, because I'm in the walker itself, like each individual walker. Okay, so let's think about this. Self the location at x minus self that size is greater than we know. So this is the right hand side. We know that's working. Now self that location at x plus self that size, if that is less than 0.0, that's here. Set the location.x equal to the arena width plus self. That looks like it should work. Shouldn't the left border be location minus size? Oh, which one is that? This is the right border. Oh, you're right. Yeah. So minus size. No, wait. No, it shouldn't be. I want the right hand edge. Well, so I'm not doing the type of wrapping where we like see it on both sides simultaneously. It has to go off completely before it shows up like on the other side completely. So I want the right hand edge to be over here. So that is plus. Line 53. Set the location at x equals to arena width, so that's this entire width, plus self that size. What did I do wrong here? Because that's the arena width. So you're an F32, you're an F32. Those are fine. Try a minus there. So minus. So come over here, minus self that size. That should be like right here. We could try it. Now move to the left. All right, it worked. Okay, so we need to do the same thing over here. So for this one, we'll do a minus. This is why I need to like set up a whiteboard the same way that Daniel Schiffman has a whiteboard. And then I can like actually go in and draw it out and look at it. Yes, we now have wrappings. So now they don't look weird when they get over to the edges and get stuck. Which means there's a much higher chance they'll find food and eat it. You're putting them in a place that didn't exist at all, out of the arena borders. But like, I guess I think it should exist. Kind of. It's just they're just numbers. But I'm not going to worry too much about it right now. All right, so then they all died. They all lost their lives. We'll run it one more time. On the next loop, they would be teleported to the other border. Yeah, they would be. Now there is like I could okay, so you're done there. So wrap the screen so the walkers are never stuck on the edges. So we've got that. So maybe to do we could have the thing where when wrapping edges display display part of walker on both sides. So that way, like as they come down, like you see them sort of appearing there. That feels like it would be a little bit harder to deal with, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. That's gonna be in our maybe to do. It did exist, but then your right hand side wrapping made effect and okay, that's what the problem was. They teleported back and forth like that. That's what I was getting at. Okay. Oh, you know what? I bet I could fix that by saying appear over there, but also if your acceleration is like moving left, then we're finding. When the food is small, it almost can't eat. I think it's when the walker is really small. It's pretty much dead because it can never overlap the center of the food. We could also maybe make it so that touching any part of food eats it instead of the center of the food. But that might be later. Okay, so it's 8:08. I'm gonna have to go get ready for work pretty soon. I usually start wrapping up around 8:10, so that's 2 minutes away. But the last two things we're gonna do before we can move on to chapter 2, unless we keep on adding new things like we have been, is we're gonna poison the food after it ages, and then different shapes for the food. Which that one is gonna be fun because I think I figured out how to do that and make it look different than the walkers. And then we'll be clear for chapter 2. And at the end of chapter 2, we'll add a completely different type of walker, and then they'll start eating each other. So that'll be fun too. So with that, let's go ahead. I'll run this one more time. You know, having it where like they all die and then it resets itself, that would be pretty cool too. I'm gonna add that in as a maybe someday. Reset game when they all die. All right. Let me go ahead and push these on up. So random walkers. What is it? The random walkers wrap screens. Now I'll push that on up. I am going to push this VODs up too. So if you're watching on YouTube, I have the code, the link to the code down below. I have a link to the book that we've been using. I hope that you all have been having have been having a great day or will be having a great day, depending upon what time zone you're in. For me, it's just starting. I'm going to head off to work. CJ is live. He's over on YouTube. Again, his channel is over here, Cooking Garden with CJ. I will just go ahead and put, let's see. Stop you. Is that, no, that's the wrong one. Morning tea right now. I need to get chat. So highly recommended. You go visit him, say hi. But besides that, I am going to go get ready for my day. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. My next planned stream is going to be Wednesday morning at 6:45 a.m. Mountain Time. And I'll see you all then. Bye.